I kind of know what it's like when Sanjay follows me in presentations. He always says that there's a lot of pressure on him. And all of a sudden, I know how he feels, because after his eloquent opening, I feel like the pressure is now on me. Good job, Sanjay. So, I'm going to talk about the future of marketing. Hopefully, it will resonate with a lot of you. I think that the introduction of me was already done, but yes, I'm an Asia growth hacker. I've been in this mobile ecosystem for a very, very, very long time. You could say I'm a mobile dinosaur or a mobile elephant, I don't know. Yes, and I do host a tech podcast show called Epicenter. If you want to scan the QR code and follow the show either on Spotify or on Apple Podcast, I would be so humble for that. No one's taking out their phones, so I see that no one wants to do it. Therefore, you may put your phones on the table and not grab them for the rest of the day. No? Okay, good. So, yeah, this is pretty cool, because in 2018, we actually had our first MAMA here in India. And as you can see, we had a pretty small gang here, and that was up in Delhi. And yeah, it was quite fun, and this is the team in 2018 in our Bangalore office, just gathered around, hanging out. We were a small group of people. There's a lot of hope, a lot of aspiration, a lot of promise was in the air. And of course, just fast forward to today, this is the team in India, almost 60 strong. So it represents what the hope can bring. And kind of liken this to the story of India itself. Right? I don't need to tell you about India's tech revolution, becoming an IT powerhouse, which all started in the 1970s. Almost 50 years ago, India started to export its own software. And today, India dominates the global software industry. And of course, I don't need to tell you that over 10% of the world's Fortune 500 company CEOs are Indian, and that's only going to increase over time. And so, if the India economy is a great representation of what is possible and the growth that is possible, we can kind of liken this to the mobile industry as well. You see, many of you have been around in this industry for quite some time, and if we equate this to the India ecosystem back in the 70s and put it in the early 2000s, when this ecosystem was at its very early stage, there was one thing that was kind of missing from this industry, which kind of impeded the growth, which was measurement and scale. And anyone know the word spray and pray? Yes, yes, we all do, because that's what mobile advertising was like then. And without cookies on mobile, it was clear that something needed to change. Something needed to be there to solve that. And so another thing that was pretty crucial to fulfilling that part of the equation of measurement was the other part. Because in the world of spray and pray, or the wild, wild west of mobile advertising, there was plenty of conflict of interest, isn't it? And so, anyone recognize this? This is the referee getting punched by the owner of the football club at the end of the game, right? This happened in late last year. And you have to wonder, why is the referee getting punched? What's really happening beneath the surface? Was it really an unbiased and independent referee in play? Or was there something else going on? You see, during that time, there was not a reputable company in the space that could actually unify this industry. And then these three came along. One of them we're fortunate to have in this room, our founders of AppsFlyer. They believed that in order to represent this industry, we had to take a side as a company. and they chose to represent the app developer in this ecosystem. And for them to create the future, it had to be a product that would be independent and unbiased. And you see, the industry, as we knew it, with marketers connecting to the ecosystem, multiple SDKs, multiple APIs, it was just a mess. And so in order to solve the mess, they created the Universal SDK to unify the industry, unify the ecosystem, APIs, one single software to unify the industry, to connect the industry together. And it sounds funny because we're here today and we all know what AppsFlyer does. 10,000 partners on the ecosystem, including the likes of Glance, MoEngage, Mixpanel, our sponsors here today, part of this entire ecosystem that it's become. And every morning, 10,000 marketers wake up, 10,000 product owners, CEOs, executives of companies, just like yourselves, make mission-critical decisions based on AppsFlyer data. Just to give you a sense, 45 billion US dollars in mobile ad spend was measured last year through AppsFlyer. 45 billion. That's slightly more than 10% of the entire mobile ad spend. And so, in terms of value creation, you can see what we set out to do was to build a platform that would measure, connect the ecosystem together with the applications that were being built by AppsFlyer. Some of those that you are familiar with, like Protect 360 and Predict and other solutions that we created. And of course, enabling the ecosystem around it. And of course, as we started to evolve this ecosystem, we thought, hey, you know, we need to create other tools. Anyone ever see this QR code bouncing around? This is from the Super Bowl 2 years ago, which the Super Bowl will actually happen again on Monday, our time. Company spent 1.5 million US dollars for a 60-second ad. This little QR code bouncing around, akin to the DVD. You know, remember the era of DVD? Yeah. And it generated over 20 million hits in just a few minutes. And behind that was AppsFlyer's technology powering that engagement. And of course, holistic measurement has become critical to this industry as well, where the experience of mobile is dominant. However, console, TV, PC is all becoming part of the user experience. And so as this industry continues to evolve, holistic measurement becomes more and more important. So I know that many technical people are here, so I want you to sit back and relax because over the next 45 minutes, I'm going to talk to you about each and every one of the development that AppsFlyer has done. Okay? Because as we sit here, 500 engineers wake up in our R&D headquarters and start to develop these products. So sit back, relax, and no, absolutely, I'm definitely the wrong person to talk about that. What I am going to talk to you about is something very important. You see, when was the last time you saw a mammoth? Yeah, I know you're thinking, when I was watching Ice Age with my kids just the other day, right? Yeah. So why is it the mammoth is no longer here? And why is it that the elephant was able to adapt and thrive in the changing world? You see, if you put yourself in the shoes of the elephant, you also are in a stage where you must adapt. And what is the force that is causing change? Anyone know? Anyone? I'll give you a clue. It starts with a P. Anyone? Oh, shit. It's privacy. Yes. So privacy is the force. See, I have 16 seconds left, and I'm definitely not going to finish. So privacy is the force that is causing change. And you see, it's forcing us as an ecosystem to adapt, whether we like it or not. And measurement has always been complex, and it's even getting more complex. And we as a company understand that. And because privacy being a core pillar of AppsFlyer, we've actually embraced it. You see, the industry has to evolve again. The days of first-party data flying back and forth between this entire ecosystem is being put to test, and it's being challenged by privacy. So for us, if the data keeps going to the logic, then privacy won't be there. So as we start to think about the future, we think about a future where the data needs to be coming to the logic. And it's not only about data, it's about models, right? Today we talk about AI models and different types of models that are being built on top of data, where we, AppsFlyer, have built our own applications into the privacy cloud, but we also bring in third-party applications into the privacy cloud. So effectively, this is a bring the logic to the data model, or BLASS, as we kind of calling it right now. It doesn't sound too, doesn't roll off the tongue very nicely. But in order to galvanize this vision that we have, we actually went out and we bought 2 companies last year. Dev2Dev, which is a product analytics suite, and Ulu, which is an AI anomaly detection platform, to help us to envision this model and build it faster. And so I want to leave you with this thought, because if we are here thinking about the future, it's actually, the logic is very simple. Number one, if privacy is here to stay, and collaboration and interoperability are the critical building blocks for the future, then our vision of what we are trying to do is to create this privacy-preserving technology to enable the ecosystem to collaborate together. And we want your help to make this vision possible, just like when AppsFlyer started almost 13 years ago. And so I leave you with this, my favorite quote: the best way to predict the future is to create it. Let's create the future together. Thank you.